Bhaja Govindam, verse 30. Practice inner silence. Prāṇāyāmaṁ pratyāhāraṁ Nityānitya vivekavicāram Jāpyasameta samādhividhānaṁ Kurvavadhānaṁ mahadavadhānam. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. The control of breath, the sense withdrawal, discriminating between the permanent and the impermanent, along with the mind that is absorbed in doing japa, perform these with care, with great care. Seek Govinda, O foolish mind. Let us listen to a story based on this verse. Once upon a time, looking everywhere, traveling far and wide, are 6 seekers of truth and wisdom. After many miles and long journeys, they hear of a great sage who may be able to help them in their quest. They arrive at a hermitage deep in the forest. The sage asks them to spend a year with him and then ask him whatever they wish. The seekers agree, becoming the sage's disciples. After a year, one of them asks the sage, which sense is one of the greatest importance in sustaining the body? In reply, the sage tells them this story. Once upon a time, there were 5 senses: hearing, sight, smell, taste, and touch. One day, as they were sitting around, they talked about all the things they could do. The senses were somewhat boastful about their abilities and importance, and they claimed to be the rulers of the body. Look at us, for we are remarkably special, they claimed. There is no way the body survives without us, they boasted. Each sense, in turn, showed off its abilities. Hearing filled the space with music that breathed emotion and passion that stirred the soul. Sight matched the music with a breathtaking splendor of swirling magical forms in exquisite shades of colors. Smell, in a puff of breath, perfumed the expanse with heavenly aromas. Taste, not to be outdone, exhaled out a cornucopia of mouth-watering flavors. Touch made the whole body vibrant with each and every breath, tingling with soft warmth and delicious coolness. They all lavished praise for one another. It was quite a show. Prana quietly breathed in and out, watching this awesome spectacle. It was simply there, present. With the in-breath, it observed the senses. With the out-breath, it observed the senses. After letting the senses go on for a while, Prana said, "None of you reigns supreme in the body." No one was listening. The senses had no time or awareness of anything else. They were completely blind to everything beyond themselves and certainly had no sight of Prana. Prana tried again. The senses, in their total self-absorption, had no attention to spare for Prana. Angered, Prana left. As Prana left, the sounds, colors, fragrances, tastes, physical sensations, and the mind all faded and disappeared. The senses ceased to exist. The senses had no idea of what happened. As Prana returned, they found themselves and knew that they were there. Prana left, and the senses were no longer there. The senses were suddenly vulnerable and scared. Prana reappeared, and suddenly they were aware of Prana. Like a light switch, they were turned on and off by this vital energy over which they had no control. But the energy had total control over them. With this awareness came the instant realization that they existed because of Prana and that this vital energy was far more powerful than them. They did not rule the body at all in any way. Prana did. As they bowed down in respect, Prana told them, "Dividing myself 5 times and spreading out in the body, I change my form and create the senses from myself and thus give life in the body. Prana in this story is Mahaprana, and the 5 sub-pranas are Apana, Prana, Samana, Udana and Vyana. These 5 subcategories energize various parts of the body and have different functions. Apana exists from pelvis to navel. Prana flows from heart to throat. Samana moves from navel to heart in the midriff. Udana is in the head, arms and legs. Vyana is throughout the body. As we hear this story, at some level, does something within us, the unthinking part, know the message of the story instinctively? What do we instinctively do when there is a terrible smell? Hold the breath. No breath, no smell. When something tastes terrible, hold the breath. No breath, no taste. The senses and the mind are born from prana, are a manifestation of prana, and return to be absorbed into prana. In fact, the senses and the mind are absorbed into prana every night during the phase of deep sleep. Deep sleep is so important to all of us. Without a withdrawal from this unceasing activity of the senses and the mind, we feel exhausted and depleted of vitality. If we have a restless night with lots of dreams, the sleep is not refreshing but tiring. Deep sleep is refreshing and invigorating. However, we are not aware during deep sleep. With meditation, though, it is possible to withdraw awareness from the constant chatter of the senses and the mind. Just be aware of the prana and experience the same deep relaxation as deep sleep while being fully aware of it. If we listen carefully, we hear the notes of the music of the breath of life, prana. In this verse, we are told by Shankara what to do in order to withdraw our mind from this preoccupation with artha and kama, so that the attention of the mind can be drawn to what we really have to do. The first step is the practice of discipline and having a sense of proportion in all our activities through self-control. That is control of breath and control over our sense enjoyments and alertness. The second is withdrawing of the mind from its external preoccupations and focusing it upon the self. There must be a sense of proportion in everything that we do in our life. In ahara, food, and in vihara, walking, moving around, and whatever karma we perform. When we talk, we must talk what is necessary, what is proper, what is right, what is pleasant, and what is truthful. In whatever we do, we must always be alert. Let our mind become inquiring, thinking, or contemplative, and not take things for granted. There are so many notions and assumptions in our life, which we have never stopped to analyze and to seek what is permanent. By practicing sense control, it is possible to understand what is permanent and what is impermanent, what is desirable and what is not desirable, what is conducive to our goal and what is not. The study of Vedanta also helps us develop the ability to discriminate between the truth and untruth, the real and the unreal. Samadhi means the relaxation of mind, the absorption of the mind. When the mind is devoid of various distractions and disturbances, it becomes silent. That silence is the total relaxation of the mind, the absorption or total abidance of the mind. How is that to be achieved? By doing japa or the repetition of a holy name in the mind. It prepares the mind and cleanses the mind, purifies the mind and makes it silent. Ultimately, that silent mind can have abidance in the self. We should do this every day with great care and patience. In the practice of Ashtanga Yoga, meditation or dhyanam is only the 7th stage. Yama or restraint, niyama or good conduct, asana or correct posture, pranayama or regulation of breath, pratyāhāraṁ or the withdrawal of mind, dharana or the fixing of the mind, and then dhyana or meditation. Only when we have completed the first 6 stages is our mind ready for dhyanam. Yama is having the values of life like non-violence, honesty, self-control, truthfulness and non-possession. Niyama is santosha or contentment, tapa or austerity, saucham or inner and outer cleanliness, swadhyaya or the study of scriptures, and Ishvara Pranidhana or the worship of the Lord. Asana is control at the level of body. Pranayama is the control of breath. Pratyāhāraṁ is the withdrawal of the senses. Dharana is the ability to concentrate. Then comes dhyanam, meditation. Therefore, the whole life is designed for accomplishing the goal that we are discussing. Let's now listen to a story for students. Sona was a young disciple of the Buddha. Born into an affluent family, he was diligent, astute, and cheerful. Ever since renouncing his secular life, he was highly motivated and more assiduous in his meditation practice. As the days went by, he found himself mired in melancholy, which gave way to frustration, befuddlement, and agony. Before long, he became emaciated and haggard-looking. Exasperated over his lack of spiritual progress, he went to the Buddha to seek guidance. The Buddha said, "Tell me, Sona, in earlier days, were you not skilled in playing the stringed music of the zither, which is a stringed instrument?" "Yes, tuneful and easily playable." "Certainly not, O Lord." "And when the strings on the zither were too loose, was then your lute tuneful and easily playable?" "Certainly not, O Lord." "But when, Sona, the strings of your lute were neither too taut nor too loose and adjusted to an even pitch, did your zither have a wonderful sound? And then was it easily playable?" "Certainly, O Lord." Similarly, Sona, in the practice of the way, if energy is applied too strongly, it will lead to strain and restlessness. If energy is too lax, it will lead to lassitude. Therefore, Sona, keep your energy in balance, and you will then be able to focus your attention on the spiritual cultivation. Practicing middle way is the key to happiness. One must do everything in moderation, be it exercise, diet, sleep, work. And then we will be able to have a balanced lifestyle brimming with joy. Children should be taught about the value of being moderate. The middle path is the best path. Everything from moderation in eating, playing, studying can be inculcated from a young age. This will teach them the value of food by not wasting excess food, managing time well by balancing both studies and play. Another important lesson is to be focused, never letting go the sight of the goal, always being alert and aware of distractions when pursuing the goal. Such students will have a well-rounded personality and be happy, who will in turn grow up to be contented adults. All these values, if developed from young, will make their life meaningful, contented, and balanced. It will be easy for such people to understand the above verse and to realize the difference between what is real and what is unreal, and work towards attaining that goal by always being alert and aware. Jai Sai Ram.